This is AI 101, where innovation meets understanding, breaking down artificial intelligence into clear, practical insight that empower you to give you to navigate, adapt, and lead in an AI driven world. Imagine AI driven world. How are you,
Yes,
partner?
doing good. Yes, I'm excited about this one today about the ghost in the machine. How
Hmm.
do AIs actually quote unquote learn, right?
Yes. But do you believe in ghosts, Miss Jackie?
Well, it's a mystery. I did have an experience, and I don't know if it was a ghost or
It's a
not.
ghost. So tell us.
Yeah,
Today is
yeah,
what? It's
yeah.
horror 101 today. It's not
There
AI
you go.
101.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if it was a ghost or if it was my grandfather playing a trick on me, but for anyone that's been to the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, it was built by the Stanley brothers, so early 1900s. So these were like the not just classic cars, but like early 1900s, when horseless carriages first came around. So we were at the hotel, and then we found out, oh well, there's actually, Stephen King stayed there a few times when he was
Mhm.
writing The Shining. Now The
Oh
Shining
my
wasn't
God.
filmed there, but he wrote parts of it there, so they actually have a Stephen King, the room that he stayed in, you can stay there. But what's funny is they have ghost tours there, because there's apparently people have had experiences, apparitions, things like that. And I had an experience, and to this day I really don't know whether it was or not, because I was at the vending machine near where our room was, and I was getting a soda and getting a snack, and I go to bend down to get the, because I have to push that part in to get your snack out. So I was doing that, and then I went to go, back to the room, and I feel a tap on my shoulder. I'm like,
Mhm.
wait, what's going on? And I turn around and no one's there. And then I
Mhm.
go to get my soda, and I go back up, and then I feel the tap again, three times, both times. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. And I turn around again, no one's there. Go back to my room, and I'm like, Grandpa, did you play a trick on me? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, are you messing with me? Tell me the truth. Did you, tap me on the shoulder? He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And he was acting like he really didn't know. So I'm like,
You
okay.
believe?
And yeah, and I was gonna go on the ghost tour, but then I'm like, after that, I was like, nope, I'm not going on the ghost tour. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe or
Mystery.
maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, our topic for today, people, on AI 101 goes in the machine. How do AIs actually learn? So,
Yes.
Miss Jackie, the title of our topic is so non-physical, maybe spirit,
Right.
emerging from physical systems. So how does modern AI, statistically machine, create illusion of intelligence or a ghost?
Mm. Yeah, I think it can give us hallucinations and that feeling like, oh, there's a ghost in the machine, right?
Yeah.
Because then we start to think, wow, it's writing really well. It's able to understand my patterns after a while. It, like, for example, it knows my podcast really well,
Hmm.
and at the end of 2025, for those that use ChatGPT, at the end of 2025, it gave me a look back, like how many prompts I had done and what kind of things I had actually worked on with ChatGPT. And so it was like a year in review, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Wow, I was on this a lot.
Year in the review.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, okay, so this was pulling all the information that I had, not that I had put into AI, but it just kind of gave me like a synopsis, right? And I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, so it made me think about it, and I was like, well, this is a great tool, but it can't replace me or anybody else. So that's the key right there, that it's not a conscious thing.
Mm,
It learns patterns. It's a language.
algorithm.
Yeah, it's an algorithm, as they call it, an LLM, language learning model. So it's learning patterns, it's learning algorithms, but it's only as good as what we make it, right? So yeah, who's the human behind all of that? That's what we have to think about.
Yes. Who? We.
Right.
We
Exactly.
people, we. So,
Right.
Miss Jackie, from the rules-based programming to machine learning, can you describe this fundamental paradigm shift? What does it mean to we no longer program intelligence but cultivate it from data?
Ooh, that's good. Yeah, so I think about, what goes on behind the scenes with these types of models. And like, for example, you can create a custom tile, right? And you can and it's only going to be as good as what you give it. So if you, as one of my colleagues says, they're like, if you give it crap, you're going to get crap out. I'm like, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
true. It's so true.
True.
So yeah, so it's not like it's not learning, it's learning stats, but like different stats and patterns, but it doesn't have that truth or understanding that we have, where we can actually do that. So I think that's why a lot of people will say you got to watch for the bias, you got to watch for the hallucinations, things like that. So I think behind it all, we have to really look and see, okay, who's behind the model, who's creating it. Is the company that's creating it, do they have the same values that I have and the same morals that I have? Because if we look at a lot of these large language models and the companies behind them, yeah, you have to kind of wonder. That's why there's some models, Daniel, that I won't use, because I don't agree. I don't the values and the morals of the company and things that they've actually done in the past and stuff like that, and what they're doing now don't line up with what I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to, it's like a company. If they have certain things that they aspire to, right, and it doesn't line up with my morals and my values, I'm not going to do business with that company. So it's the same thing with technology and AI models. So I tend to just stick with the ones that I know I can trust, because yeah, I mean, people have tested them out and they've seen uh that can be biased, and so you have to be careful. So yeah, so I think it's always good to kind of know who's behind the model, and
Mm-hmm.
who the company is, that's creating these, because what is their true angle, right? What is their true goal of doing this? Is it to help people, or is it to do something that's maybe not so good? So you have to be aware of that, and what's their security and things like that, and is your data safe and things like that. So lot to consider when it comes to these tools, and not just putting in all your information and hoping for the best.
Hoping for the best, definitely. So, Miss Jackie, tell us what are your criteria to, well, I will use this AI program because of this or because of that. What are your criterias?
Yeah, so I always like to look at what of course, what the company, who the company is. Are they well known, or are they just a, you know, shot in the dark type of place that I've never heard of? Because then I start to wonder, who they are, and I try to do is find, if I don't know about the organization, about the company, then I'll try to find out more about them. Like, for example, when someone told me about Opus AI through Anthropic, I was like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's through this." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So asking those questions and just doing the research and finding out a little bit more about it. And then I think looking at the security and seeing, what do they do with the data, right? Are they storing it, or do you have an option to turn off, them being able to save your data? Because you can do that with AI models. So you just have to have that awareness and understanding of what it can do. So that's what I look for as well, is, do I have the ability and the option to be able to protect my data, so that when it goes into the model, that it doesn't just get stored somewhere. So that's important too. So yeah, I would say those are the two big things for me, is just knowing who the company is, what they're about, and then just knowing their security
Mm-hmm.
protocols.
Definitely. So let's talk about the core intuition. The math is a complex, but the core idea of a model adjusting itself to reduce error is profound. Can you give us a simple, let's say, powerfully analogy for how neural network learns like a child, a scientist, or something else entirely?
Oh,
Especially you are teaching, right?
yes, yeah, because a lot of the classes I'm teaching now, they do have AI integrated assignments. So it's very interesting, because students are going out there and they're they're having to use it, but then they're also having to write about that as well. So not only are they using it, but they're looking to see, we're trying to integrate it in a way that they can use it in their future job or their workplace. So we're not just having them use it just to use it, but we're making sure that it makes sense, right? For the discipline, for the actual class that they're in and they're taking. So it's very interesting. I've actually, there's this one assignment I talk about quite often, Daniel, because I love this assignment where, because I think it makes sense in this context too. So it's an assignment in one of the classes I teach where and it's about organizational workplace and performance improvement. So they have this assignment where they have to look at situational leadership, and there's 4 readiness styles in situational leadership where, as a leader, like a manager, you work with your employees, and they may be at different situational type of readiness levels. So you may have an employee that is at a lower level, like a readiness level 1, where they're nervous about something and they're not quite sure, uh, they don't have the confidence to work on something. So they may be suffering from imposter syndrome, right? So what they do in this assignment is they actually take these prompts that we give them, they put them into a tool like ChatGPT, and then they have a conversation. And what happens is the AI model like ChatGPT is the employee with that readiness style, and then the student plays the leader or the manager, and they have to have this conversation with them and actually get them to move up to the next readiness level. So it's very interesting to see that, and they have to actually include screenshots of their conversations, and then they write a reflection about that, and what went well, which one was the hardest to work with and why, and what would they do different next time. So it helps them to practice that in a safe environment, where they're doing that. And so it's a very interesting assignment, and I love it. It's one of my favorites to see that. Yeah.
So let's talk about the data versus instructions.
Yes.
You said AI's knowledge come from patterns in data, not human written rules. What are the most surprising or counterintuitive capability or blind spot that's threats compared to a traditional software?
Mm, yeah, that's important because it almost does look like AI is memorizing things, right? Because
Yes.
you can go into an AI model one day, and then the next day you can go in and it can be like, "Oh, yeah, I remember when you talked about this last week." And you're like, "Ooh, is it memorizing what I'm saying, or what's going on, or is it learning the rules, right? What is it doing?" So it's very interesting to see what's actually going on, but all it's doing is it's just kind of taking that information, that conversation you had with it before, and it's just recalling it. So it's not memorizing, in my opinion, it's just recalling information and feeding it back to you. So unlike having a regular conversation with a human being, it's going to be different because it's technically, it can't a computer can't really memorize. It just recalls
Mm,
information. Yeah.
yes, yes, definitely. There's a lot of pros and cons of AI, people, but think that AI will help us in a big situation, just like going outside the universe. They don't need oxygen, so they can experiment something that, well, let's build human something good, a colony from this, right? Let's
Right.
build a colony from what one of the moon in Saturn. Especially if
Mm.
they said that one of the moon of Saturn or one of those rings planet
Oh,
that
yeah.
they said that habitable. Mm.
Mm. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so why
Yeah,
not use a robot, right, that
yeah.
has the AI technology and put it up
Build
there?
build our
Yeah,
home.
right, and actually have the robot with the AI tested out, and then we can be here on planet Earth, right?
Yes.
And actually looking at the data and analyzing it and seeing what the patterns are without having to risk having a human go up there. And yeah, and then they can be able to advance the science enough where they can do that, but it takes the human uh intellect and consciousness to do that. Machines
True.
can't do that.
We
Yeah.
s-
Yeah.
we still the director, people. We are
Yes.
directing AI to solve the problems that we cannot.
Right.
Like going beyond the planets without oxygen is we cannot do it, but they can do it
Right.
if we program them. We program them to build our colony in the red planet. Well, why not, right?
Right. Exactly. Right.
Hmm. If we make AI in a good positive way, it will give us a big leap in terms of everything, from astronomy, from medicine, from what finance. They are capable to do perfect than us. If
Right.
you put the right algorithm, the right data, there's no error for sure, except if they will corrupt. Mm, that's
Mm.
that's that's called the hackers, or they give virus or whatever they will put. For sure, there will be like that, and you
Oh,
need
right.
to what, scan it and what, do the
Exactly.
antivirus.
Right. Exactly. Be aware of those things because yeah, the hackers are looking they look for any opportunity. Yep, that's true.
Yes, but in general, if we make our AI in a good way, we will use in a good way, it will give us more than we expected.
Right.
So,
That's
Miss Jackie, let's talk about the black box problem, where we often don't know why an AI model makes a specific decision. Is it this fundamental property of how they learn from the complex data, or a temporary engineering challenge? What we doing to peer inside? The
mm,
word peer.
yeah. It's like looking under the hood, right? Like we talked
Mm.
about last time a little bit. Yeah, or going under the iceberg, right? I always think of it like peeking under the hood and seeing what's the inner workings of this, right? Like you do with a car. You want to see if something's going wrong, you pop open the hood and you look to see what's happening. So it's kind of the same thing with all this machine learning and technology, that's out there. And it's interesting too because you hear artificial intelligence, right? I don't know. I wonder if it was mislabeled, if somebody mislabeled it because it's not. I don't know if it's really intelligent. Maybe it's making us think that it's intelligent, but we're actually the ones behind it. So we're the ones that have the intelligence. So
Mhm.
yeah, so it's very interesting. So I think behind it all is just yeah, I think what it's doing is it I don't know, it makes us feel like it is thinking and like it is learning, but I think what it does is it looks for those patterns and then it looks for things that are already out there that already exist. So it's not generating new knowledge, right? Or new information. It's just looking for patterns and then putting it all together and saying, "Okay, you're asking me this prompt and here's what I'm going to give you back," but it's not giving you new information. It's just giving it to you in a different way that's of something that's already out there. So yeah, very interesting how it does that. And but people are being fooled by it, right? And they're thinking, oh, I can have it write my paper for my class, or I can have it write discussion questions or something. But yeah, that's
Mhm.
really not what it's meant to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think AI make you better, in a
Hmm.
sense that in a human terms, uh, AI organize you grammatically, fluency, and if you do it by yourself, for sure you will commit mistakes because of that
Yes.
algorithm. He did it perfectly for you.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Mm.
I think it does help with writing. I think it's really good for uh bringing about ideas and brainstorming because I use it for my podcast now. I use it to come up with ideas for my solo series. Like I have a series that's actually coming up that's going to be about AI, but it's going to be about the field and it's called the AI Ready Designer. So it's all about how m- people like me, like instructional designers and educators, need to change our mindset and how we think about this technology and how we need to have it work with us. So we're not just content creators, but we're crafting that and we're we're massaging it. So it's very interesting. Yeah. So I always think of it. I'm not an order taker. I don't just take content and just stick it in something. And if someone says, "Hey, I want training," I'm just not like, "Okay, sure, I'll do training." And they give me the content and I put it in there. I actually have to look at it and be a detective, right? And that's what one of my guests said the other day on it. He said we have to be like a mystery detective. So I think we have to apply the same thing with AI technology and really think about it like a mystery and just yeah and think, okay, what's this really doing, and don't just take it for at face value for what it is and at face value. So really investigate it for sure.
Investigate people and be aware. And to wrap up our discussion for today, Miss Jackie, for
Yes.
people feeling awe or anxiety about AI, what is one thing you wish everyone understood about how this system actually work to ground and conversation in reality?
I think it's. I think one thing is look at it as not replacing what you do, but think of it as a collaborative partner, like or like a digital assistant, right? So it's coming alongside you and it's helping you. Like you said earlier, it can help you write better. It can maybe take some of those mundane tasks and help you do it better. So yeah, I think that can be something we can look at it as is not to replace you, but to come alongside you.
Definitely, people. The single most grounding thing to understand is that today's AI system do not want intend or understand anything in a human sense. They are powerful pattern learning machines that optimize mathematically objectives over data. What often feels like intelligence, judgment, or even agency is the result of a statistical prediction at a massive scale shaped by entirely by training data, model design, and human defined goals. So, people, in short, don't be afraid with AI. It's something that will help us to leap to go beyond our solar system, to go beyond our Milky Way galaxy, to go beyond that people cannot go beyond. Right, Miss Jackie? Would you like to
Absolutely.
would you like to plug in something?
Oh, sure. If anyone wants to follow my podcast and listen as well, it's called Designing with Love, and it's available where you listen to all your podcasts. So feel free to check it out.
Yes, people, I'm plugging our four podcasts with Miss Jackie. We're having AI 101, which is this is our second episode. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, Tech 101 we will do after this. And of course, not love letters, sorry,
That's
Bible
okay.
verses
Bible verse
101
and coaching 101.
and coaching 101.
Yes,
Yes, probably. I think you're good to love letters too because you have a love design.
that's true. I could come on and do five, sure.
Yes, why not, Mizaki? Why not? So, people, please do listen to our four podcasts. It's something else that we are brewing, and well, we're hoping we will do our best to give you what we want to aim for all these four podcasts. But for sure, we are want to empowering people all over the world through this podcast. So, Miss Jackie,
Thank you so much for joining us and keep learning.
more to come, people. See you soon.